Hello! Hi. So today I'm going to be doing a video talking about movies where, for me, the third act just falls flat. Now, there's two reasons I wanted to do this video. The first one is that I did a video a while back, if you remember, if you've been here for a little bit of time, about the worst endings. Not really happy with that video. I still agree with some of the choices. Some of them are going to come on to this list as well. But, yeah, not particularly happy with it. And I also have seen a few movies this month, which you'll see on this list, that I'm just like, I don't appreciate that. And like, you know, I'll talk about that in my recap bit as well. But that's why I wanted to do the third act. I just kind of thought that these movies, I kind of felt like talking about them, just getting some things off my chest about them. I'm hoping this list will be more refined now that I've seen more movies, and please do not freak out if your favourite movie is on here. Just please don't, because the whole point of this video is I'm trying to get good movies, especially towards the top of the list. There'll be good movies where the third act just really falls flat. So these are some movies that I straight up love, and basically I'm saying just don't freak out when... What? Let's just do the video. Why am I still talking? Am I even filming? I am good. At number 10 on my list, we have The Matrix. Now this is a movie that I'm not a big fan of. I thought it was pretty damn terrible, if I'm being honest. And most of that is due to the third act. For the most part, when I was watching this movie, I'm like, oh, it's fine. I don't really see the hype or anything like that. And then comes to the third act and Neo gets shot. And Trinity kisses him and he comes back to life like this is fucking Sleeping Beauty. I know it makes sense. I know that yes, Neo is technically the one, so he couldn't die. But for me, that undermines the rest of the movie with all these tense scenes and situations that he's getting in. If he's the one, then all the other tense scenes just really don't serve a purpose, I guess. Maybe it'll work on rewatch for me, but I found it to be really cheesy, and then, like, you know, he's dodging shit and becoming fucking superhuman, and he flies away into the sky. I just thought it was too silly. Maybe I went in with the wrong expectations. I didn't expect it to be so cheesy, but for me, yeah, no, I don't want it to have a go for fucking, you know, oh, magic kiss revives the hero. Fuck off. That is... no, not for me. Number 9, we have Glass, the end to the Unbreakable trilogy, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Now this is a movie that I actually appreciate the third act for, but I don't like it at all, if that makes any sense. Like, I like the concept, I like the fact that he's going against the norm of the trilogy, I like the fact that there's no big showdown. Like, I like that, like, you know, anyone other than M. Night Shyamalan would have just had, like, you know, big final set piece, really long, epic climax. And, like, that's kind of what you come to expect and want. And when it turns out that as soon as they're about to start fighting and it's revealed that this institution is a secret society against stopping superheroes, it's an awesome concept. I love the concept. But it is so underwhelming and anticlimactic with our hero getting drowned in a puddle. It's so underwhelming. I understand that it's a cool concept that, like, you know, there are superheroes among us and we don't know it, and that there are some people that are trying to prevent them from standing up so that the world doesn't become some kind of fucking anarchical wasteland. But it is so underwhelming to watch. Like, you're just watching it and you're like, are you fucking serious? Putting all that aside, the kind of suspense of disbelief in the last scene when, like, you know, the video goes viral of these superheroes doing all this shit. Like, in this day and age, so much can be done with editing tricks, and people will just watch that and go, huh, cool effects. But in the movie, everyone's like, you know, it's like a big fucking revelation. It doesn't work for me. Okay, so, straight up, I love the concepts, but the overall ending just does not work, and the whole third act is just a real just... At number 8, we have a kind of just what the fuck movie, and that is Basic Instinct with Michael Douglas. So this movie starts off the first 2 acts kind of as a murder mystery, and in the final act it completely forgets that it's a murder mystery and it becomes kind of just like a lovey-dovey between this detective and Sharon Stone. It focuses on that for a while. Michael Douglas hangs dong for a bit, and then it seems like once the 3rd act rolls around, it's like, oh fuck, this is actually a murder mystery, we need to solve this. And it really wraps it up. It's really poorly handled with the whole doctor being the killer and shit like that with the blonde wig. And it's like, okay, whatever. And then Sharon Stone and Michael Douglas are in bed fucking. And it pans down, and I know this is a list supposed to be about the 3rd act, but if I had have seen this would have been on my worst endings list, because the final shot with the ice pick under the bed is one of the worst endings ever. It's for shock value, it makes no sense at all, and it literally just kind of, again, undermines everything else that happened. You're like, what the fuck? What? Like, all this for nothing? If she's possibly not, it's so, and like, it's overly ambiguous. I love ambiguity, but this is overly ambiguous, and it makes you feel like you just wasted the last 2.5 hours or however long that movie is. And you're like, what the fuck? Number 7 on my list, this is a crossover from the original worst endings video that I made, and it is the Invisible Man, the 2020 version by Leigh Whannell. This is a movie that I enjoyed quite a bit for the first 2 acts. I thought it was a solid, 6 out of 10 suspense movie. And then the 3rd act, they take this straightforward plot that is working pretty well, it's nothing special, and just convolute the shit out of it by doing this shit. It's like, oh my god, the guy's brother's also an Invisible Man killer, so you don't know whether he's been the killer all along or if Adrian was the killer at all. And then it's just, for such a straightforward plot, it just puts too much ambiguity, and then Adrian somehow managed to tie himself up. Maybe he was tied up. It's the wrong place to introduce something like this. At number 6 on my list, we have a completely different movie from anything else on this list. Stripes. Yes, Stripes. That fucking 80s Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, whatever movie. It's a standard slapstick movie, standard army movie, and it becomes a bunch of sci-fi bullshit faster than you could imagine in the 3rd act. I can't even explain what's going on in this movie. I can't even remotely do it justice. You've got that van and they're trying to escape the army base and shit like that, and they've got the whole, you look through the goggles and it comes out the top, it's unbelievable. It is seriously just, what the fuck? I can't even do this movie justice with how ridiculous it is. It needs to be seen to be believed. Now, number 5 on my list. This is where the movies go from alright to actually pretty damn bloody good movies with terrible 3rd acts. And at number 5 we have The Game, which is a David Fincher film with Michael Douglas, so that's the 2nd time he's appeared on this list. And 3rd act, it gets really silly. I was drugged, robbed, and left for dead in Mexico, and all I had left with this stupid t-shirt. What the fuck? What just happened? I climb to the top of this bloody building, and he jumps off and crashes through the window, about killing himself. And then at that very, very spot, it's like a big cushion underneath him, and the twist is revealed. And it makes sense thematically. I really, really like the whole concept that this is a just selfish man who is being forced by one of his family members to take a long, hard look at himself and appreciate life and appreciate the people around him. It's really, really, it's a great idea for a twist. Makes absolutely no sense in this movie whatsoever. People are actually shooting at him He was dodging bullets. His life was at stake. I can't suspend any disbelief for this. This is ridiculous. This is such a good movie. And then you're like, his own brother actually tried to have him killed to appreciate life more. What the fuck? But didn't actually want to have him killed, just wanted to nearly have him killed, with very, very possible risk of him actually being killed so he could appreciate his life more. No. Number 4, we have No Country for Old Men. This movie is fantastic for the first 2 acts until the final act when it feels like they just wanted to wrap this thing up and get it done. Llewellyn's death is so quickly brushed over. There's people at the hotel, like ambulances and police there, and his wife runs up and Tommy Lee Jones comes over and takes his hat off, and then cut to the next scene. It's just, what the fuck? This is our what? It's just so quickly wrapped up. And then, Chigurh's, doing his coin toss thing for Llewellyn's wife, and I can't remember her name, I'm sorry. And then there's that, and he's got his broken arm, and he steals a kid's shirt, and he walks off. That's all that done. It cuts back to Tommy Lee Jones as the sheriff, and he's talking to his wife about his dreams, and then cut. I don't think that I haven't seen any other Coen Brothers movies, and I have heard that a lot of his movies wrap up strangely, like it almost feels like they're just trying to get it done. But I just don't like the fact that it seems like they lost interest and just decided to replace a normal story with a bunch of wishy-washy wisdom talk. And just... I don't know. It's a really good movie, and both times that I've watched it, I'm just like, what? It just doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right. Number 3 on my list. Jesus Christ, here we go. From now on, these final acts, like the last 30 minutes of each of these movies, are shocking. Like, unbelievably awful. And number 3, we have The Craft. The most 90s fucking piece of shit fun movie you could ever imagine. For the first 2 acts, it's kind of just like a hangout movie. It's these witches. It's basically Mean Girls but witches. That should entice you to watch it, please. These witches having fun for the first 2 acts. And in the final act, some conflict between them is introduced. And while some of the stuff that kind of happens with all the snakes and bugs is, yeah, that's cool, I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever. They all of a sudden start to turn bitchy with each other. There's kind of no real motive for Bonnie to turn bitchy against the others. I can't even remember fucking Robin Tunney's character's name. I can't remember her name even. But yeah, Bonnie and that Nancy, I think, was the... I can't even remember their names, I'm sorry, but they all turned bitchy against Robin Tunney's character for no real reason. And it became a lot less fun very quickly. And I was just like, it is just awful. I seriously think that this should have just been a hangout movie. Like, I know it's obviously come out a lot after, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. No plot, so much fun to watch. The Craft, the first 2 acts, no plot, so much fun to watch. And it just kind of felt like the studio was forcing them to have a bit of plot and drive and a story to it. When I just think it would have just been so fun to just capture this 90s time period for 90 minutes. No real plot or conflict, and just have it be fun. I really like The Craft for the first 2 acts, and the final act... Number 2 on my list, we have a amazing thriller movie called Identity. This movie is underrated as fuck, in my opinion. I love Identity for the first 2 acts. And then the 3rd act reveal just completely shatters it for me. None of these characters being real, I was like, are you shitting me? It's so underwhelming. It's just a visualization of this guy's mind, of this criminal with split personalities mind, of all his personalities trying to become dominant. It's literally just a visualization of all of that. I think that's just terrible. This is around the time when the whole kind of split personality twist ending is becoming really, really tiresome, because it's not being used in good ways. There are still some movies that have come out since Identity that use that twist. I'm not going to name them because that'd be spoiling them, that I think use it really, really well. By this time, it feels like Identity is like, okay, we want to tag along this bandwagon, but we're going to have to change something up and do it a bit differently. And the whole thing that this is all just some guy's imagination is ridiculous. And then I just find absolute bullshit that the little child personality becomes the most dominant of this big bull-headed bastard crook. At number 1 on my list, if you're deep into the horror genre, then this shouldn't surprise you at all. It is High Tension. This is a French film that is incredibly suspenseful, incredibly scary, and I legitimately think that it is an amazing movie. But the twist in the third act, the video camera store reveal, very similar to Identity, completely breaks the film. So yeah, it's revealed that this guy that's stalking these two girls is actually one of the girls' split personality. So let's get this straight. So it's this tiny French Mia Farrow fucking thing. 55 pounds max, is able to push a cabinet so hard and fast that it just rips someone's head off. She is having car chases with an imaginary killer. She's having car chases with her own split personality, which doesn't make sense, because it's not like it's just the whole car chase is imagined, because they're actually getting places. So you got her driving the car and her split personality driving another car with her friend in it, which makes absolutely no sense, because when they both get to the same location, both cars are there. None of this movie works. Once the twist, you're like, this movie, nothing about it works. Not a single thing about it makes any sense. And when he's at the video store, she's crouching behind the thing and he's like talking to her, and then he the shop owner, he's talking to her while she's on the floor, and then he turns around and starts talking to the killer. Nothing of this film works at all. You could explain it as being an unreliable narrator, but that would mean that literally everything in this movie was a dream, and that is fucking stupid. And I haven't even gotten started on the motive of this killer yet. She has developed a split personality to kill people because she has a lesbian crush on her friend. No. The whole thing, no one can come between us again. If she's only killing people that come between her, why the fuck did she kill the guy at the petrol station? Why did she kill the fucking dog? Why is she trying to kill the person that she is trying to bloody get off with? Nothing. She's chasing her friend around with a chainsaw. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. None of this movie makes any sense. It is such a good thriller, but turn it off as soon as the third act reveal happens and it turns into her fucking, with this... It looks ridiculous, by the way. She's got this giant chainsaw that's almost bigger than her, and she's running around trying to lift it. Oh my god. Oh my god, this movie is a shocker. It is such a good movie, but the third act completely kills it. Okay, I've been filming for a really, really long time now, I just realized. I'm probably gonna have to... Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye.